started.
Let's see, candle maker. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker. So we got a Caro-Kann. Oh, we haven't had one of these in a while. Let's play. Oh, it's not a Caro-Kann. It's something else. Knight A6. The Caro-Kann is D5 there. I don't know what the idea with Knight A6 is. I can go ahead and put another pawn in the center, it looks like, and just clamp down on D5. It's going to reroute the knight. Okay, let's develop some pieces. Since he hasn't put any pawns in the center, I think it's pretty easy to get my pieces out. Just put them in central locations and wait to see what kind of setup he's going for. Maybe he's preparing E5 here. He could play E5. And that might be a good idea, E5, to try and shut down this light-squared bishop. He goes for the pin. Let's kick it just once. That's sometimes a good idea. Doesn't really waste a tempo in it. Later on, the space that the king has to escape to may be useful. So he still is not, he's not making any aggressive moves. Well, that pin was a little bit aggressive. Okay. What else? Maybe he's going to play G5 and attack this way. Ah, there he is. Okay. Usually there's some aggressive intent in these weird openings. Just gotta be prepared for it when it comes. So now he's going to play G4 at his earliest opportunity. I'm thinking of Knight H7. Knight H7, G4, Knight takes, Bishop takes, Queen takes. Looks good, but he doesn't have to push right away. Knight H7, he just plays H5. And then he's going to play G4. But after H5 and G4, I can push on with H4 as long as my knight is not here getting attacked. So I think Knight H7 is Knight H2. Knight H2 is a good idea in either case. So if he pushes on immediately, I'll take. If he pushes on and pushes on, he ups the intensity with the queen. Okay, let's try and contest this light squared diagonal. I can put a bishop here supported by the knight and the queen, and see what he intends to do about it. He's going to exchange maybe and try and win the pawn on D. No, he's not. He is going after that pawn, however. So what's the best thing here? How about if I just kick the knight and force an exchange of bishops so I don't have to worry about this light squared diagonal so much? If I just left it there and tried to defend with a bishop, it is a developing move, but it may leave me a bit, I don't know, somewhat awkwardly placed, I guess. So the knight, I'm expecting the knight to go to, it could go to D4, I guess, but I was thinking C5. Yeah, D4, it's a move. Okay, so first we trade.
Check.
Yeah, he's got some checks here, but those squares are covered. Then now I can play this bishop move. Bishop E3, and I'm hitting his knight. I don't have too many weaknesses to worry about the knight on... My knight here is covering these pawns. So now if I bring the knight out, yeah, I'm not sure. How can I get something going? Maybe I should play something a bit aggressive here, try and undermine his pawns a bit before they gather any momentum, and also open up a line against his king, open up a line on the f-file. I need to do something to get some counterplay. Can't always just defend. Even when your opponent has played peculiar moves, if you let him get away with it and don't strike back, then their play will be rewarded. Okay, so I can take and win the g-pawn, which will open up files against my king. So certainly a risky endeavor. However, I think I should take at least once. Open up the F file. Files go both ways. And then instead of grabbing again, I'll keep the G file closed and just take here on D4 and grab this pawn. So now he does have the idea of pushing forward here, trying to disrupt the H file, but I picked up a central pawn. This might be useful. It's not quite a central pawn. It's a pawn on the C file, but if he tries to escape by castling to the queen side, I have already some weaknesses there to attack, and ideas of pushing the C pawn. So he doesn't do that. I was kind of expecting him to just play G5 there, but anyway, maybe we can take a look at that in the postmortem. So without an H pawn, he can of course drop into G3 here, hit my rook, hit this pawn. He's hitting the queen. I guess I should pay attention to that too. Pay attention. Yeah. So maybe queen here. Defends G3, so knight G3 I don't have to worry about. Now he's not so much threatening G4 because I can play knight takes G4. I might play knight G4 anyway. I need to get this knight back in the game, and that might be a good post for it. Yeah, so he's got a good post there for his knight. It's hitting these light squares. He can maybe sacrifice on H3 at the right moment. So if I play knight G4 here, can he play knight takes? Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes, queen. Now everything seems pretty solid here. Let's play it like this then. This e-pawn here is ready to take on F5 if he should ever play pawn to F5. So this knight here is pretty stable. Maybe the thing to do is to bring this knight over to E2 and then exchange off the knight on F4, giving up. I can even, okay, he just goes directly for F5. I need to take it. There's really no two ways about it. Now here's my idea, knight E2. Anyway, obviously he can take on B2, but I have rook B1. And if the bishop moves, I can take this pawn and threaten checkmate here. So knight E2, he trades maybe. Well, actually his knight's kind of pinned there. He's not going to take it. He does have a check. But my rook's protected. Knight H3 check, just pawn takes H3. Knight takes here, check, queen takes, and his queen is hanging. Bishop takes, rook B1. What else? Something clever like rook takes. I don't think it's working. He always has, yeah, it's just, that wasn't the idea, but I always forget about the move bishop to D4 in these positions. That's a nice skewer on the queen and king. I really should have thought of that. It didn't work in this case because it wasn't supported, but it was a vulnerability I wasn't really taking into account.
Check.
Typical kind of, yeah, there he goes with the check. Typical move in this position. And his queen is still hanging. Eventually he's going to have to do something about the queen. But, well, he can throw in one more check with rook takes, but that's giving up too much. Okay, queen goes there. So now queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes is a sacrifice. That doesn't work because I can interpose with the queen. So what's the best move here? Maybe rook here anyway. Get the rooks on light squares. Rook here, rook here, rook here. Double the rooks on the F file. Play rook F7. Checkmate on E7. That's my plan. Okay, now he's got to think. Brings the queen in. Now I could go rook f7 directly, since his queen isn't hitting here. He can just castle. I don't have knight f6 check because his bishop is guarding it. Maybe I should chase the bishop first. Yeah, maybe I should have just played rook to e1. That also threatens checkmate and also leaves this rook here protecting h3. Let's see. Oh, he has queen takes knight, so I have to think about this. Queen takes knight, rook here check, and then queen takes queen. So I've indirectly protected that piece. Okay, so now I have knight here check.
Server announcement.
Taking advantage of the pin and getting my knight out of a bit of trouble. Yeah, king there. So the problem is, now he's got the move. Pawn to g4, and it hits the rook and it hits here. What do I have? Maybe here anyway. Pawn to g4. I can throw in queen here check. Queen here check. Drive the king all the way into the corner, but can I checkmate him? I'm not quite seeing it here. But then I'll maybe bring the rook down. It's a complicated situation. But yeah, playing... he can take the knight too, right? I didn't think about that. I was thinking... yeah, I'm not my sharpest right now. Okay, well, let's get the check in.
Check.
That gets the knight out of hock at least. And now I can, he's attacking my rook, so I can put my rook on f1. I can throw in one more check to drive his king all the way here.
Check.
And then I can play rook here check, rook takes, queen here check, king here is the only move, queen back here check, and the king has to come out because of going back as mate. So I can chase the king all the way to here, and then queen here check and pick up the bishop. So let's do this again. Yeah, and taking the bishop defends this square. So check, takes, check, king, check, king, check, king moves, take. And I just traded a rook. I've got these other pieces and there's no checks, right? So let's play that. Nice forcing sequence. It's easier to calculate these.
Check.
He can't go back. He has to come forward. Now, do I have anything better? So my plan was queen here check and take the bishop and defend against his queen check. So I'll have an extra piece at that point, which should be winning. And I don't see the mate. After the check, he can just go back. I can't take the pawn because of his bishop.
Check.
So I think I have nothing. I think I have nothing better than this. But I mean, this should be enough for a win as long as he doesn't get a perpetual in here somewhere.
Black resigns.
Cool. That was enough for the win. Okay, nice game. I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.